It is the year of the Kraken. Our heroes return from the frosty winter to the sea. Have a game under the warmth of the Hearthstone. StarLadder I-League StarSeries Finals. Having slain countless opponents to reach this point, Chinese players Xieshuai and Aichoro shall join the masters of the game Xieshuai, Naiman, Hoi, Jabba, Dr. Hippie, Stansiska in Shanghai for a shot at taking the throne. From the highest-ranking ladder players to the hidden dark horses, who shall reign supreme? Conquer 4, 5, ban 1, double elimination. Will the champion once again remain in China, or shall a new victor emerge? July 8th to the 10th. Start from 10 a.m. Shanghai, China. Come and witness the tournament of the century.
Welcome back, everybody, to Star Series Season 2 Finals. My name is Frode. I'm joined by 2014 World Champ Firebad. And together, we are going to try and piece together the casting of the series that is known as Xieshuai versus Jab. Now, I know you got to see a little bit both of that series. What's your opinion on Xieshuai after seeing him go up against 6-0? It was a little bit one-sided, but do you feel like he's still got the chops to come out second place in the group here behind 6-0?
Yeah, I think Xieshuai actually made less misplays than I think from watching Jab's series. I think I would definitely favor Xieshuai still in the series, even though I know a little bit more about Jab. Jab has a slightly longer accomplishments sheet featuring, you know, double as many achievements.
Literally one more achievement.
Yeah.
So sorry, it's just funny because he reached out for that paper to the note and notes one extra line. Of course, we're not mocking the achievements. I mean, Jab got really far in the America's Championship last year, almost qualifying for the main event of BlizzCon.
Yeah.
You know, in the esports arena as well. Xieshuai's claim to fame is that he won Star I-League Season 2, so that's a really good accomplishment. And generally, like in China, the pool of players at the top level are pretty hard to overcome in some of these tournaments. You look at like Lovely Chuk, you look at Lonely Shaman, or you look at you know, Tiddler and all those other guys too. Like in general, they kind of help practice with each other, and it's really interesting to see like a guy that comes out of that who hasn't really practiced with many people from that group of players, in my opinion. I'd always really think it's cool to see like individuals who are able to train themselves and practice.
Why not? I just think the most relevant part is how recent the achievements of Xieshuai are compared to the achievements of Jab. All of Jab's achievements are 2015. He doesn't have any 2016 achievements as of yet, and Xieshuai is a 2016 achievement. So I think that gives him a little bit of an edge, just being more recently accomplishing things. But anyway, here goes into the player's entrance.
All right, so a little bit about Xieshuai too. If you could see his little pregame interviews, that he pretty much just watched other people play and thought he could play better. And I think that's the story of a lot of people when they watch Hearthstone.
Yeah.
And it's kind of true for some. It's not for everybody, but in a lot of cases, actually, yeah, like if you guys are watching, why not try to sign up for some of these tournaments? And this guy did it. So congratulations to him, but he has to go another step further. He has to prove that he can win this tournament, or in this case, just beat Jab.
Sure, yeah. Beating Jab is definitely the task in front of him right now. I remember my early days in Hearthstone when I was only getting to rank 7, wasn't quite getting to Legend yet, and I was watching, what was that big tournament called in the beginning?
Fight Night?
Fight Night, yeah. I was watching Fight Night, and I was like, yeah, I could probably beat these guys. I'm not even Legend yet. I've been playing the game a few days. I think I can beat these guys. And so
everyone goes through it, man.
Yeah.
Totally
get the feeling.
Yeah, and then you start understanding that they start watching you cast. I think I can cast better than these guys. And that's how Frode and Firebet lost their jobs. All right, Jab, we already kind of introduced him a little bit. Jab is a player who went far in the America's Championship. He had, most notably that ridiculous finish against Trump with this Tempo Mage versus Druid thing. It was kind of crazy. He also has been part of Team Hearthlytics for a while, but they've recently disbanded as a team, so pay no real close attention to that logo on the shirt. Hearthlytics no longer exists. May they rip in pepperonis. His signature class is Hunter, which is true. Jab, for better or for worse, has stuck through Hunter
every meta.
Every meta.
Yeah, literally every meta. He always brings the mid-range hunter, even when it's not so great. Right now is one of the moments where people are saying, you know, mid-range hunter isn't very great. We see Zixo in all of his interviews saying, there's only 4 real classes in Hearthstone, and all the other ones are pretty garbage. And Jab here has decided to bring not only one of those classes that some of the players believe is not so strong, in that'd be the hunter, but also the mage. He's got the temple mage in there as well.
Yeah, tempo mage and hunter, but you know, he's also excluding druid, which is, you know, one of the 4 classes that seem to be pretty strong these days. So as long as he's got that core, I think the core 3 do have to kind of go exist. You know, shaman, warlock, and warrior. It just feels wrong to not bring those 3 to a tournament.
For sure.
So did we get a look at the bands? I was just warming up my hands. Get some of that heat up there.
I didn't catch what the bands were.
Okay.
So.
I don't think we saw it, but let me rotate it really quick. So we see Jab brings the core 3 as well. Xieshuai, he has that Reno Warlock. I want to see some of that action. You know, I'm all for janky Zoo decks. I'm all for Yogg-Saron Tempo Mages, but once in a while, I also want to see some good old Control Warlock style.
Sure.
And it'd be cool to see that kind of come into play today, because I think that's the only thing we haven't really seen out of the list of all of this. So
well, we saw Stan Sivka a little bit with the Control Warlock, right? So
that was banned. 6-0 banned Sivka's Control Warlock. Oh, you're talking about your series.
Yeah, the series I casted. Yeah.
Sorry, I was outside getting some lunch.
Oh, sure.
So I must have missed that game then.
Yeah, the Sivka playing Control Warlock makes you think, yeah, Control Warlock maybe could be a Tier 1 deck, because he's just so good at piloting Reno Lock. It's been his favorite deck for years, so it's kind of like Jab with the sense of Jab always playing mid-range hunter, even if it's bad. Sivka will always play Reno Lock, even if it's bad.
Yeah, or just like Control Warlock in general, you know. I think there's a phase where he was experimenting with just handlock, traditional handlock, right after Whispers of the Old Gods, like Mountain Giants and everything like that. A little bit sketchy, but I mean, you know, hey, everyone's experimenting post expansion.
They aren't actually watching the English stream, so they have no idea when we talk about things like saying what the decks are and all that sort of stuff. They have no idea that we're saying. So no one knows that Xieshuai has Reno Lock still.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
It's been banned 100% of the time.
Everyone still has this opinion that it's like it could be Zoo.
Yeah, everyone's banning it because they think it's Zoo. I'm pretty sure. Like.
Does that work to his favor?
Yeah, it works hugely to his favor right now. Jab's lineup is pretty great against Reno Lock. He's got the Tempo Mage that favors the Tempo Mage versus Reno Lock favors Tempo Mage. He's got Hunter versus Reno Lock favors the Hunter. So he's got Zoo versus Reno Lock, which slightly favors Zoo, and then he's got his Warrior gets destroyed by Reno Lock.
That's funny, man. He's banning the one deck that he could probably guarantee a victory against.
One of the best decks in his lineup for him would be Reno Lock, and he's banning it in the assumption that it's Zoo. And it's really quite popular for a lot of Chinese players to play Zoo as well. Like Reno Lock is not very common in the Chinese scene from what I've seen. So the assumption has to be that it's Zoo.
Shout out to the StarSeries, by the way, with the booth babes. You know, trying to keep it quality across all genders. Usually the booth babes are all female, but we have to mix in some males in there fire a bit.
Sure.
Just keep it fair for everybody. Let's go into game number 1. We have Warrior versus the Hunter. Now, it's the the Dragon Warrior. We saw a little bit of iterations of Tempo Warrior. You've seen some Dragon Warrior today. I think a lot of people felt like Dragon Warrior was starting to catch on popular because of how much it preyed on Hunter for a while. Do you agree with like that notion, or do you feel like Hunter's still good against this kind of warrior, because it's usually good against warrior class?
Well, the Hunter's usually about 50-50 against Tempo Warrior, and it's a little bit worse against Dragon Warrior, just because Dragon Warrior turns on the heat a little bit faster. They're a bit more aggressive. You can see right here, right off the bat, 3-3 charger to the face. Like,
a little bit, huh?
Yeah, a little bit more aggressive than the Tempo Warrior usually is. So
yeah.
Like Hunter's win rate or like win condition in this matchup is the fact that they outvalue the Warrior at the end of the day. They have the Call of the Wilds. They just have more big things at the end. Well, that's not really the case against Dragon Warrior, because Dragon Warrior introduces like more aggression, which allows them to race them down faster where the big threats don't become a factor. And they also run, 2 9/9s on top of the traditional like Tempo Warrior threats. So even the threat density has improved. So those factors all coming together usually lead toward Dragon Warrior having a bit of an edge.
Do you know who originated Dragon Warrior in its current popular form?
In the current popular form, I'm not really sure.
Because I know about when Whispers of the God first came out, the Chinese were playing a little bit with Dragon Warrior, but it wasn't like the refined list that it was now. It was actually kind of off. It was like 5 or 6 cards off.
Yeah, I was like 4 cards off for the list I told everyone to bring to spring prelims, and everyone told me I was crazy and it was bad. And then we see Sidonia and Roasty take first and second with it.
Right,
so
exactly.
I was like, I told you guys. I tried to help you.
Same thing with Eloise, too. She was playing it a lot prior to DreamHack Summer and told everyone to bring a Springtime Summer. And they're like, nah, you're stupid.
Yeah. Everyone's like,
playing it again.
Everyone like, this is just worse than Temple Warrior.
Yeah, everyone comes over was like, nah, we'll just play Temple Warrior. Ah, you silly little Chinese girl. I was like, ruffle her hair a little bit.
I mean, it was popping up on ladder occasionally. I was playing against it on ladder, so I started trying to refine it myself. And I was like, this deck's good, guys. And everyone was like, nah, because I wasn't in the prelims. So I was just trying to help players out. And
there you go. It's okay, Firebat. I will listen to you.
Okay.
So, Jab, a little bit awkward spot. Just the Warriors being so aggressive, man. Who's truly the hunter? Who's truly the warrior?
Leads off with King Zealot. Not sure what he's really looking to find, but...
Oh, it's kind of unfortunate. Houndmaster would have been nice for the following turn. Just has to kill that 5 Berserker. Too big of a priority.
Yeah, and in doing so, opens himself up a lot to this Ravaging Ghoul coming down, so... I can expect to see maybe like a tempo slam Ravaging Ghoul just to clear. Oh, never mind. Fiery Warax is a lot better than the slam. So Fiery Warax down the 3-2, play Ravaging Ghoul, go face.
Yeah, and you also put, 10 power on the board here. So, I mean, that is just a lot of pressure. And you could even start winning in 2 turns here. So Jab, he's got to turn it around, but his hand's just minions. I guess he could turn around with an Animal Companion. Just have a taunt or even Huffer kind of bring him back.
Yeah, you would have really liked having that Houndmaster about now. And I don't know if he's going to be living till Call of the Wild. It's still, it's like 1 turn away, but still, that's like really hard. And
let's see, 4, 10, 14, 1 off.
Yeah, Hunter has no healing, though. And if you pick up a dragon at any stage in the game, you win. Seems pretty good.
It feels like that's just like what you want to do here.
Yeah. And then maybe just slam one of those to get rid of some pressure. You could hold the slam for more card draw, though, to increase your chance to find a dragon, since you can play slam and the dragon. So I think I might have favored armor up a little bit more there. Just give yourself 2 draws at the dragon.
I guess it increases the chance of him keeping a minion alive, though.
Yeah, that's true as well.
All right, so game number 1 very fast, but that's kind of what Dragon Warrior does at its best. And a very fortunate scenario, too, where Xieshuai was able to get that first matchup and get that out of the way. Although I think Warrior is one of the stronger decks of the format, though, so you kind of anticipate it being able to do well regardless.
Yeah, Warrior was, in the last, 6 or 7 open tournaments I played, I collected some, stats on what people were picking for bans and things like that, and Warrior was the most banned class in every single open tournament I played, so... just in the open tournament scene anyway, Warrior is the most popularly banned class. So I don't know how well that translates up to the professional tournaments and all that sort of stuff, but it is definitely a very powerhouse class, and a lot of the general public believes it's pretty strong.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because Warrior's just been sat on my cord a little bit. Warrior's just been on top for a while now. I think since the advent of Blackrock Mountain, it kind of catapulted itself to just the top 2 classes and just kind of stayed there for a while. I think it had some periods where maybe it fell down a little bit longer, but when Druid and Secret Paladin were kind of around, but still always had this prominence of being a top 2 class. Why do you think that is? Why do you think Warrior's always just been so strong? Do you think it's cards like Fire Warax? Do you think it's the Executes or what? The Brawls?
Definitely Fiery Warax is a big factor there. Fiery Warax is really strong, but also just it's the only class with real control tools, right? It's the only class that has the ability to, has enough single target removal and AoE removal to really play a control game. Priest strives to do what Warrior just kind of casually does, which is have all of that life gain, because Warrior just simply has more life gain than Priest most of the time. Shield block over Flash Heal, for example. Flash Heal is worse at healing you because it heals for 5, right? But it doesn't actually cycle a card, and it's health instead of armor, and health is a little bit worse than armor because you can't use it when you're at full health, for example. You can't use it to activate Shield Slam. So, like, you can compare some of the cards there between the two classes and see how much better Warrior is at just being a control deck, and the removal in Warrior of Execute compared to some of the other classes' removal options. Hunter is the only one that has a card similar to Execute with, like Hunter's Mark, but they don't really have the card draw to support it, and Warrior just has all of these pieces that come together with Slam, working with Execute, working with Cycle to make sure your combos come live, and then Shield Block and all these things coming together that always makes it have a control archetype that works, and now it also has a tempo archetype that works.
Right.
So
yeah, fast types too. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, just the double threat of being one of the best control deck, or the best control deck in the game probably, then the best control deck in the game with 2 variants, with Control and Cthulhu. And then it's also one of the best tempo decks in the game with 2 variants. It's absolutely insane, right?
Yeah.
And
mix in with the very odd choice of Pirate Warrior as well.
Yeah, then it's got a face deck. It's pretty crazy.
It's a super robust class. Anyways, moving past that Warrior, because the Warrior has been checked off, we have Druid versus Hunter. Now, I know a lot of my buddies that they play this, they really like playing the Druid's perspective.
Jab chooses to play King's Elec here after seeing Coin Wildgrowth. I'm not really a big fan of that because when you see Coin Wildgrowth, the most likely play is the Disciple of Cthulhu coming out. They could be the Twilight Elder, right? They run 1 Twilight Elder most of the time and 2 Disciples of Cthulhu.
Yeah, but it's more likely that they have.
It's more likely they have Disciples. So I would have liked to see the Flame Juggler maybe come out from Jab there.
And that could be, a small difference maker there, just because you're able to start picking apart the board, but also getting that damage in. But something to also consider too is maybe Jab was thinking about trying to get a card to draw as well, if you wanted to pick up like Savannah Highmane or something other pretty crucial cards.
Well, yeah, you could always draw later on in the game.
No, I'm inclined to agree. I'm just trying to think about what he's thinking about when he's making some of these plays. Sure. Despite the fact that I do think that losing that 3 too early on is pretty costly.
Well, yeah, he's able to recover quite fine. Though. He took like 2 damage and got 2 damage on his 2/5 basically as a consequence, right? So.
Okay. Choose to kill the Carrion Grum. I think I want to take one of the beasts out, but now that you play the Azure Drake, you kind of feel like you're committed to killing the Carrion Grum because you don't want to take that extra damage from the huge toad. I feel like there's not too much upside of killing the Flame Juggler over the Carrion Grum. Okay.
Sure.
All right, that makes sense. I mean, in the end, the damage doesn't truly impact the way the 2/3s trade.
Yeah, it just makes sure that the Jab can't take a 50-50 to kill your Azure Drake, right? So I really like killing the huge toad.
All right, so Jab, that one freezing trap, okay.
Yeah, he's got the ability to Hound Master here and clear the board. Seems like a pretty straightforward, solid line of play. He could have potentially went for Animal Companion and played Freezing Trap and just went all face. That leaves yourself a little bit vulnerable to potential swipes and other spell power effects. So it's a little bit risky, but he would have maybe been rewarded since there's not very many spells in Zinchuan's hand, but still, like, leaving spell power on the board against Druid's kind of scary.
Yeah, definitely. I also, like saving Freezing Trap for some of the really big, powerful 6-mana minions too. Dark Arakoa, Sylvanas, etc.
Well, you can't really Freezing Trap Dark Arakoa because it's got Taunt, so you can't be going face while that's happening.
Yeah, I guess, but, I mean...
Is it important to be going face, I guess?
You just want the board control anyway. Swipe,
sure.
Wow. Oh, man. That's an awesome Raven Idol pickup there.
Yeah.
And, well,
Bite's not bad.
I didn't see the other. It was like Claw. Savagery or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, Call of the Wild, pretty good to get for later on in the game, but I guess this turn he was hoping for Savannah Highmane.
Yeah, you're always hoping for Savannah Highmane on 6.
Mini Highmane instead.
What?
Yeah, it's Festive Wolf's kind of like smaller Highmane.
Smaller, significantly worse Highmane.
The one that didn't graduate college, still stuck at home in the parents' basement.
Like so many Hearthstone players.
Oh no! That one hit home. Wow, Firebat, you're such a bully, dude.
Hey man, I was there.
You think there's any merit to not attacking? Because you have Call of the Wild next turn. You have a 4/2 and a 3/3 that gets buffed also by Leok.
I do think there's definitely merit in it. I would have considered it for sure. But Jeb wants to not freezing trap a Dark Arakoa. He wants to freezing trap something without taunt so he can continue pushing face, I guess is the logic. And can't really freezing trap.
All the while. So is that just like your way to race him? Or
Oh, yeah. Call of the Wild all face.
So you have 3 each damage, and then you have... Yeah, you should be able to kill him the next turn because you have Unleashed Hound as well.
Yeah, and Huffer. Easy game.
Or is it? I mean, I feel like there's an opportunity here for Xieshuai to kind of steal one from the Hunter.
If he's able to clear or taunt some way, and it's looking pretty tricky to clear because that freezing trap becomes quite annoying here.
Right.
But then Wrath with spell power into taunt up a Druid of the Claw could be pretty good. He could look for draw off the Huffer because it's removing more damage or the same amount of damage anyway.
I think well,
Leok is technically speaking
if he
also pretty.
If he gets the hero power in, he also has a Ragnaros ability to maybe even win the game too. If he squeezing that hero power.
Yeah, so there's argument to go not for the draw, especially since you're not even using the card you're drawing this turn. So Wrath for 4 on the Misha, hero power face, taunt up, hope.
I like it.
Seems reasonable for sure.
Is there any reason to attack, I guess, to make Unleash the Hounds worse?
Yeah, I like that.
So then it bounces it back. And, of course, we leave this 1 in 4 chance for Ragnaros to end the game. Or even remove a minion on board. Obviously, he wants to win, but sniping a minion also increases the chance of him surviving as well.
Right. Is there going to be some sort of crazy triple Leok Unleash lethal?
How did he know?
Oh,
that's crazy, man.
4/1 Hounds.
Now, to be fair, though, if you got Huffer, I think that's still lethal, right?
Yeah, Huffer would have been at 6.
So that's still really strong, 2 out of 3 chances. But I mean that was a close game, man. That ended up being
Very
way close. Because the Rag, if it just aimed a little bit higher instead of aiming low.
I'm surprised Jeb was even able to pull that game out, you know? Like, it looked really bleak for him after that spell power swipe came out. Just absolutely crushing.
That second Call of the Wild.
Yeah.
Off the top.
Yeah, that was like the one card, the only card that allowed him to stay in that game at that point.
And even then, he almost still lost.
Yeah, even then he had to get a little bit of lucky. So
yeah, there it is. So the series tied up there. The Hunter getting a win, though, in the series, though, I don't think it's a crucial thing. I think you're mentioning the Mage. And I wasn't sure if I was a true believer, but after seeing 6-0 flounder a little bit, drop some sweat, I think that Tempo Mage liability can be a big fear indeed.
Well, Zixo believes Tempo Mage is better than Mid-Range Hunter is. So
for the current format?
For the current format,
Interesting.
Yeah. So
why does he think that is? Just because better matchups across the board?
I assume so, yeah. Especially if your plan is to maybe ban Warrior, which Zixo likes having the ability to ban Warrior, I think, with his lineup. So
that's fascinating, though. I mean, because I think the Tempo Mage... What is it? What are you really trying to capitalize on as the mage? Like, what's your best matchups?
Drawing Mana Worm on turn 1.
Yeah, against every matchup.
Against every matchup gives you a chance for sure. That's really the key of the deck.
I just feel like it struggled against so many of the popular decks, though. Like, of course, Warrior. I feel like Zeus still starts off very good against it. And, I mean,
it's not the worst against Shaman. We saw it take Shaman. It's just not great against Shaman.
It's not. It doesn't feel that great against anything.
It's pretty good against Hunter.
Interestingly enough, yeah.
So that may be factored into the decision.
Yeah. It's good against Hunter. It's great against Paladin. Good against Reno Warlock.
Yeah. It's pretty good against Freeze Mage a lot of times as well.
Yeah, you like it against Freeze Mage these days?
Yeah, like some people disagree with that. Like Laughing thinks Freeze Mage is, of course, favored against every deck. But
dude, did you see his matchup chart? He thought like Freeze Mage Control Warriors like 35-65 or something like that. I was like, you're insane.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you win one of every 3 games against Control Warrior.
Like Freeze Mage versus Aggro Shaman, he's like, yeah, that's 50-50.
Typical Laughing, man.
Some questionable ones.
I don't know if I agree, but I admire the courage.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go into game 3. We have this warrior up against the druid. Now, I know a lot of people have really fallen out of love with Temple Warrior because of the new flashy Dragon Warrior, but I still like Temple Warrior, man. It's great.
Yeah, I think Temple Warrior is a really solid all-around deck. It's more consistently mediocre, right? Like, that sounds like a negative thing,
Just
right?
more consistent.
It
You
is.
just could have said consistent and
But
mediocre was implied.
Okay, it's more consistent, but it has less power spikes. Like, Dragon Warrior can oftentimes just get the dream curve and kill people. Like, get the Alexstrasza champion on 2 into the frothing and just blow people out of the water. Whereas Temple Warrior is more like, yeah, every hand's kind of like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do have the frothing berserker occasional explosion, but yeah, man, it's kind of like the old fundamentals athlete, right? As opposed to the super dunk crazy one that just goes nuts with sometimes just exploding for a bajillion points. I tend to agree there. The one thing Temple Warrior won't ever let happen to you is having cards like Twilight Guardian and Blackwing Corruptor not activate. It's the one thing that I like most about Temple Warrior.
It's really hard to have that happen when you do not run those cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But more specifically, the fact that once in a while Dragon Warrior doesn't get what it wants. And Temple Warrior just kind of usually does what it wants because it's just trying to curve out and play relatively fast on the board.
Yeah, sometimes you can get into situations where Battle Rages kind of get stuck in your hand or whatnot. But it's a lot rarer than the situations that come up with Dragon Warrior. So we can see here with Jab's hand, he's got a pretty solid curve, but not really great ways to interact with his Bran.
Yeah, not. I think pretty much just using Slam and Whirlwind is the only way you can, and that's not very efficient at all.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going with the.
Fierce
I
Monkey.
really hope you don't have anything that goes with Bran play, and this is where you, if your opponent has like Disciple of Cthulhu, you get absolutely
blown out,
destroyed. But
yeah, well. Good news is he doesn't. You can just use Feral Rage to chew through the monkey. Wolves beat monkeys. There you go.
There you go.
So, Jab, I mean, it tells a lot about his hand. He's got really nothing else going on here.
Yeah, using all of these removal options indicate that he's likely setting up to play a turn 5 play. So, Jab can expect Druid of the Claw to come down a lot of times with this amount of like aggressive removal there. Otherwise, you don't usually use Living Roots to kill a
1/2.
A 1/2, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's Jab's best way to set up for Druid of the Claw? I guess he presumes that the monkey is. If he plays Frothing Berserker, it just gets charged into, and then he's out of a Frothing Berserker, and there's still a 4/2 there, and then he's got to slam a 4/2, and that doesn't feel good.
And like right now is still just kind of hoping that he can coin out Karen potentially and fight back on the board. Druid of the Claw is the play, I think.
Yeah, the question is taunt or charge.
Charge feels like you're too vulnerable to
Whirlwind,
yeah.
Now Jab can go with the like Frothing, Slam, Whirlwind, even if he wanted, or Slam, Whirlwind, coin Frothing.
That's so sick. And then just present a legitimate threat on the board here.
Yeah. I guess you Whirlwind first, play around Wrath.
Right.
Frothing even at a 2/4 is still pretty scary.
Yeah, just the threat of it. You already played Druid of the Claw too, so you can't. It's like less likelihood for him to charge it down.
He is going to opt to not play the Frothing. He'll save the coin, maybe to try and coin out Gramash. If he had played the Frothing, it would have gotten wrecked by the Fandral plus the Wrath.
Yeah, it would have gotten obliterated. Oh, man. Yeah, I didn't notice that Xieshuai picked up the Fandral. No, that's nuts if he would have played it out. So, just taking a turn to draw cards, really ramp up the power, see if he can fight back. And Fandral does introduce a lot of power if he's able to keep that on the board.
But yeah, there's no reason to play it out now, though. He wants to be passive with it and just wait with it in his hand until eventually he can play it while removing something, getting some guaranteed benefit out of it. So, but yeah, it's just always so nice to have.
Okay, Innervate. Well, that Karen's annoying.
Yeah, no kidding. And he doesn't
just ignore it, I guess. Just play the Cthulhu's Chosen. Like tag Karen, just move on with your life.
Yeah, it seems to be the play.
Slap him with a parking ticket.
Yeah, there's no way you want to trade into it. That Karen's going to have to trade into your minions, so you can get some extra chip damage in with your minions by simply ignoring it, going face.
Okay. Seems like a really good opportunity to battle rage, draw cards. Malkarok. I like Malkarok a lot, just from a flavor point of view. It's pretty fun.
Until you get Cursed Blade, then all the fun's
even then,
over.
it's really fun. It's just not for you.
Okay.
Someone's having fun.
Someone's having fun.
Yeah.
I don't like it when other people have fun. I like it when I have fun.
Oh, don't be so selfish, Fire. We gotta spread the love sometime.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Jab can play the Ravage and go get an easy snipe on the 2-1, trade into the 3-4, remove the Divine Shield.
Seems to be what he's doing, getting some extra armor along with it.
Yeah, I think I think he doesn't like the prospect of leaving up 6 power on the board if he plays Blood of Brave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just having it die for free, basically. So it makes some sense here, getting the removal in.
What do you think about killing 3-3 versus the 4-2? Do you think it's negligible? I feel like the 4-2 makes it so, like
swipes a lot better,
yeah.
So it's interesting, I guess. I'm surprised he didn't even use like the execute, maybe, honestly, like with so few cards like to activate execute remaining in his deck. He's already used the slam and the ghoul, and none of the cards in his hand activate execute.
And the whirlwind.
Yeah, and the whirlwind, it becomes kind of questionable when he's going to be able to activate the execute if his board gets cleared.
It's a pretty good point. Well, not to be remiffed. Xieshuai just kind of sets up the Fandral.
Yeah.
Here we go. Malkarok time. Oh, it's 2-3.
And
Oh, it's Cursed Blade!
This is what I was talking about with just not a fun time.
It is fun. For Xieshuai.
For Xieshuai, he's having time of his life right now.
Firebat, I'm having fun.
He's winning money.
Are you having fun?
No.
Not really? You don't like seeing this?
I don't like seeing the game.
I'm having fun, man. So at least 2 people in this room.
This was a very even game until this point. This may swing it completely in Xieshuai's favor. Honestly, I think Jab was even at an advantage in this game. And now it's like it could swing back the other way all of a sudden.
Oh.
I think he's still in an advantage.
Yeah,
but
he seems to be very far ahead on the board.
Yeah. If it costs him the game, though, I don't like that.
Okay, fair enough. But I still would like to put it out there for the jury that I'm having fun.
Just for the truth.
Oh, man, that's 100 hero power to the face. That's sick.
And you gain 1 armor. That is pretty sick.
That's even strictly better than 100 hero power in this situation.
Super 100 hero power.
All right, so you can get past the Twin Emperor taunts using Grom. I don't know if you want. Do you really want to use your own health here?
No, you don't want to take 8 to get through with Grom. You just sacrifice that 2/2. That 2/2 is never worth 8 life.
I agree.
8 life is a lot.
Plus, you have 10 mana usage next turn with all of your minions, so it's just mana efficient that way. Okay.
No. I guess he's
3-drop.
using his life to get through. He has to be swinging with the weapon. The longer you hold the weapon, the scarier things get. But
He is going.
This is a lot of frothing power.
It is.
Yeah. He's looking to try and close out the game next turn.
He wants to end the game. Fight fire with fire, I guess.
Yeah. Holy crap. He takes 8 extra damage in the process of this play, but creates 2 9/4s.
That's pretty sick. I like that play. That's cool. He's got insane amount of power here. Xieshuai, I guess you just go digging.
Yeah. He's going to need to find like a swipe or something, but even then, powers up the frothings even more.
Well, one of the frothings.
Well, yeah, one of them. One of them dies.
But the good news is that he doesn't die, because right now he's staring at 18, 26 damage.
That's a
little bit too much. Well, Outgrowth Cycle. So let's see. He picks up Wrath or Swipe here is fine.
Ooh.
Swipe! Wow, dude. Imagine if you pick Living Roots. Actually, is Living Roots lethal? Oh, no. Yeah, he would be off by 1, I think.
Yeah. It would have been
That's
16
crazy.
damage.
Oh, man.
Those are the kind of scenarios with Cursed Blade that get kind of silly.
Oh. Bananas. All right. Stressful times in StarSeries Season 2 Finals. think any draw wins in the game. There's no iterations deck or anything like that. Yeah. Let's see what he gets.
Double Corcoran maybe wins in the game. Ooh, how much damage is that? That's 4 plus 3, so that's 15, 19, 20, 21. 1 damage off lethal.
Oof. So crazy, man.
So
Both
crazy.
these guys. You talk about explosive, man. I think the Temple Warrior wasn't explosive.
Yeah, it is when you let Frothing live. Then it becomes very explosive.
There you go.
That's any deck, though, that lets Frothing live. It becomes crazy explosive, right?
I agree.
Frothing itself is just explosive.
All right. Well, yeah, you can just hit Bloodhoof Brave. I don't even mind Corcoran trade and have Frothing hit face. Cursed Blade's out of the way, too, so you can breathe easy. Jab really taking his time here. Or unless did we miscount? Is there actually?
No.
Okay.
He just setting his opponent down to 1. Taking the most aggressive line possible, trying to finish with Grom.
Dang. Oh, there's a chance!
And
oh,
there's a
no!
chance now because of this aggressive
The punish! Oh no! Jab sitting back, dude. Are you ready? Are you ready for some Hearthstone esports, Firebat?
This is definitely an esports moment.
Oh man, he's gonna fire! No! Right in the heart.
Oh, esports.
Pow! Right in the kisser. Dude, well, okay.
Well,
I mean,
Jab
Jab
gave
opened
him-
himself
yeah.
up to that.
Well, he gave him that opportunity.
He opened himself up to that, all right? There's a time where it's like, well, yeah, I can just trade and play a little bit safer, and I'm still in a really good position.
Still set up lethal for the next turn while trading, develop the Blood of Brave and whatnot.
Oh, man. Woo! Woo! That one was crazy, Fireman. Are you having fun? I'm having fun. I'm
yeah.
having, there it is.
There was a lot of
There's
factors.
that smile.
There was a lot of factors in that game that kind of
Yeah.
decided it there. Jab had a very dominant lead. Cursed Blade caused him to take a bunch of extra damage. The
True.
decision to face tank instead of going for the develop Grom play
Right.
it caused him to be more aggressive on the board, but also in turn take 8 additional damage.
Right.
And then it comes down to the Ragnaros flip, which he could have also played around with a few extra trades. And he
Right.
just took the most aggressive line every turn and did not play around Ragnaros whatsoever. Granted, still, he put himself up in a great spot to win the game. Like,
Yeah.
75% of the time, he wins the game there.
In that specific position.
In that specific position.
Yeah.
But, so the line he took overall, his opponent needs to draw Rag. His opponent needs to win, a coin flip on Rag. So, really, was Jeb's line bad? No. But was it the best possible line? I don't think we can say it's the best possible
I
line
don't
there.
think so either. You give your opponent a chance to win.
Yeah.
And while you still have a higher chance to win, I like going for the longer play there. While like you said, setting up for 2-turn lethal both ways, both scenarios, he'd be able to win in 2 turns, but one gives your opponent an actual out.
Well, the other way gives your opponent the out of, taunts and stuff kind of being in the way. But taunts are still kind of annoying if they have, taunts and clear the board. But they can't taunt and clear the board with both swipes gone. So it seems incredibly unlikely for them to be able to stop your lethal.
But he
either way.
only gained, 2 damage from the Corcoran going face as opposed
Yeah.
to trading? So
Yeah,
it's like he would
2
put it at
damage.
3?
3 instead
And he
of 1.
still had Grom, so if he had put 1 taunt, Frothing Berserker trades and Grom kills him. So
Yes.
I still think he puts himself in that position.
Yeah, he opened himself up there for the ability to lose. I think a few of his lines, honestly, being as aggressive as they were, he could have played the more control-y route in the game. Honestly, the control route of the game, obviously, though, opens yourself up to, what if they string this card with this card and this card and come back? Sure, but...
Yeah, no, I don't know, but my Justice Boner's at full mast right now. Firebat. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
When you see punish like that, woo!
Sometimes Hearthstone punishes you for misplays. Other times, you're so far ahead that the Hearthstone just lets it slide. But not today.
Not today, dude.
Not today.
The officer was on patrol.
Yeah.
Well, going into game number 4, is it? This got really fast. Hunter starting off with that early curve. No Fiery War Axe from Jab.
Fiery War Axe definitely really important here to shut down these sort of things. Jab forced to use a slam without cycle. Gets kind of awkward at later stages in the game when he needs that card draw, right? So.
Yep, and Hunter's continuing to play minions. So
and we see the key card already in Xieshuai's hand, the Kodo. If that lands on a Bloodhoof Brave, or even if Jab plays Accolade of Pain, well, no, he can't Kodo yet, but if the Kodo lands on Acolyte of Pain stopping draw or Bloodhoof Brave stopping all of the tempo of jab, that's usually just backbreaking for the warrior.
It's super nasty.
Yeah, I casted a game where Kalento was playing against one of the Chinese players in EU versus CN. Played turn 4 Bloodhoof Brave. Kalento Kodo'd it. Opponent immediately conceded.
Yeah. I was expecting that.
It's just one of those tempo swings in Hearthstone that's almost impossible to come back from if it's like empty board versus empty board, you know.
So crazy.
Yeah, jab gets down the Acolyte of Pain a turn before the Kodo can come down, which is good and ensures that he's going to be able to get some cycle with it. It also sets up his Ghoul very, very nicely because now the 3-2 is incentivized to trade into the 1-3. So now Jeb's Ghoul is able to take out both minions. Oh.
Yeah, until that.
Until Xieshuai plays around it, realizing that Jab's most likely setting up a Ghoul here. So that's a really solid line of play there.
Yeah, I don't mind there. Just kind of accelerating the damage too. What's happening? Jab does have the backup through the Bloods, the Ichor, and the Ravaging Ghoul play. Hopefully the 2-1 survives. That'll be huge against Freezing Trap. Although he doesn't know that his opponent has a Kodo. Yeah.
Sure.
In this case, Kodo actually is pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, you kind of have to play it. You can't just sit here. You can either Deadly Shot or Kodo. I would favor the Kodo. He favors the Deadly Shot. Yeah, it's reasonable. There's a lot of big minions in Temple Warrior, though. There's Rag, Malkarok, Grom, you know, sometimes Variant. So Deadly Shot can be pretty powerful, but at the same time, there's a lot of targets for Kodo. Kodo can be really powerful, too.
I like the Kodo because it paves the way for the Savannah High main.
Yeah.
The cleanest way possible. You're just going to answer minion, and you're going to have a 3-2 and a 6-5.
Yeah, that's my logic as well, is just pump everything at their face, and they'll probably die.
Eventually.
Yeah. We see the Armor Smith for Jab able to absorb this Freezing Trap.
I don't know, man. I feel like coining out Malkarok here. Do you think he's going to get rewarded with, like, a Gladiator's Longbow?
For the suffering he did with the Cursed
Yeah.
Blade. And that would be justice, right? But
Maybe.
that's not how RNG works, so. He's got the wrong bow.
Close, but no cigar.
Yeah. 6-5 versus 6-5, and one of the 6-5s is a little bit better than the other.
Yeah. And Savannah High main getting to connect with that hero power as well. And, you know, he's coming up on that turn of Call of the Wild, which he doesn't have, but it's always in the back of your mind.
Oh, yeah, especially that Koda's been sitting there since the beginning. You got to imagine that's Call of the Wild, so Jeb can't feel too happy about this position for sure. And what do you even do?
So you have Execute, and you have the Ghoul.
Good.
That's the start. Slam. So slam, execute. I don't know. It doesn't seem very clean in a lot of ways.
Well, his opponent only has one card. Assuming it's not Call of the Wild, which we know it isn't, if Jab's able to remove a decent chunk of this board, he could slowly begin to stabilize this game. So whatever gains him the most life this turn by, you know, removing the most damage from the board, I think is the correct route to take for sure.
Slam,
execute.
Ghoul, I guess.
Well, why do we need to Ghoul? I think it might be better even just like
Bloodhoof
Brave to get a taunt or Corcoran Elite something. So, but yeah, this plays pretty much is the only play that keeps him alive against Call of the Wild, right? Or does it even? Yeah, it keeps him alive against Call of the Wild. One of the only plays in his entire arsenal that keep him alive against Call of the Wild. Walks right into Kodo.
Yeah, well, that's one of the drawbacks you have.
Yeah.
How much damage is this? He's got 2 on board. 2, 5, 7, 12 over 2 turns. Oh, he's got a 3-2 as well. That's really strong.
Yeah, he's able to kill the 6-3 as well. So that's Deadly Shotting and saving the Kodo. Worked out really nicely for him because it was able to also, not only the fact of like, you know, it fit his curve kind of okay, not great. The Kodo would have fit the curve better, but at the end of the day, it bluffed Call of the Wild and then forced Jab to taunt and do like a panic removal taunt play, playing a 2-6 out there because he was convinced that's Call of the Wild, that's remaining card. And turns out it was the Kodo, which kind of counteracted Jab's kind of play around Call of the Wild. So that's really next level play there, saving the Kodo and using the Deadly Shot, actually.
And, I mean, he's in a position where he's close to closing out the game, but he still needs a little bit extra juice. Call of the Wild would actually be pretty useful there.
Oh, for sure, yeah. You kind of need to draw it as Hunter.
Oh, maybe Huffer?
Oh.
Maybe the Huffer. And just using Deadly Shot to get past, or to protect his Huffer a little bit longer.
All in on the Huffer.
Forced to remove this with the Korokon Elite. He's going to draw first, though, with the Battle Rage.
Yeah, see if he can't pick up a better option. He's used both slams, I think. So.
Yeah. I wouldn't expect it. Oh, man. Now he's in an internal position where he can't play Varian Rin, like, ever.
Yeah. Varian Rin's just dead. If he plays it, he dies.
All right. Down Master.
Grom hero power is really strong. He can start that 3-turn clock.
Well, 3 turns look a lot better than infinite turns right now.
Well, it's not even 3 turns, though, because actually Grom has to trade with every minion, right? Otherwise, he dies. So he can just never go face either.
Yeah, you're right.
So every minion that gets played.
Assuming he doesn't draw a minion. Oh, the Tiger!
All right, Jab needs Bloodhoof Brave off the top here to stay alive.
Right.
Maybe Fierce Monkey can do it as well.
Yep.
Executes not any taunt. He can play.
Yeah, and I don't think any minion being pulled can help him.
Yeah, he can't get like the Armor Smith and then trade into something because Tiger's invisible.
No, that's crazy. Tiger was shut down on every single out. And that wraps it up. So that's game number 4, I believe, in the books.
Game number 4 is in the books.
It's a 3-1 lead for Xieshuai.
Yeah.
Looking primed and ready to send Jab out of the tournament and back on the plane to America. Not literally. Jab can stay till Sunday.
Yeah, that's like, that kind of sucks.
We'll kick him out of the hotel on Monday morning. Then.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Send him back to his hotel with an early curfew.
Got him. Yeah, it's interesting to see. You know, the only American player going down makes me sad. You know, he's not performing well. I was really hoping, you know, Team America, because I'm from the States, Jab's from the States.
Did you play in StarLadder qualifiers?
I did play in StarLadder qualifiers.
How'd that go for you?
That was back a really long time ago. Me and Amnesia played the same lineup. We played the all OTK decks lineup.
Oh, that's right. He was playing like Balins and stuff, right?
Yeah,
you guys are insane.
Yeah, so we played the all OTK lineup, and we were playing in the qualifier to the qualifiers because we didn't get an invite. And we got to one game before qualification, and we lost against the decks we were targeting. So it worked for the first, like, 4 games before that. Because everyone brought, like, the N'Zoth. This was when everyone was bringing N'Zoth Paladin, N'Zoth Priest, and all those sort of decks. And N'Zoth Reno Lock. Those were, like, the 3 most common decks at the beginning of Whispers of God. Yeah, so we were trying to burst them all down. And it worked. It worked the first, like, 4 rounds for both of us. Yeah. And then people started kind of figuring out how to play against it a little bit better.
Wasn't it against 6-0 that Amnesiac was up 3-0 against and just reverse swept?
Yeah. Reverse swept on
the
Mind Blast OTK Priest. It just kept drawing really crap, which can happen with that deck because it's not good.
Well, I'm glad at least you're honest with yourself.
Yeah, well, we tried something different.
At least it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just targeting is so hard to do in the current state just because none of the good decks have that many bad matchups. So that's why we generally see everyone play the same good decks every tournament instead of trying to target anything anymore, just because it's so hard to target in this meta.
At least for the foreseeable future until we see what's coming up next in Hearthstone.
Sure. Yeah, maybe that'll make things different, add some targeting, some spice in our life for sure.
We're coming up soon, man. Based off the expected timelines, based off Blizzard's history, they don't tell me anything. I try to sneak it in all the time.
Okay.
They're tight-lipped, man. No matter how many.
I heard one of the media guys talking in the player lounge about some sort of announcement about an announcement coming soon.
It should, because August is usually when they do stuff.
They said like the end of August there might be some sort of an announcement coming. But
no way, end of August? End of August, it has to be when it comes out, dude. Or I'm gonna blow my brains out.
I don't know. They didn't give. I didn't hear any details, and it's hearing something from some guy that I don't really even know. So it's like, how official is this?
That's a very reliable source that we got fired.
My source is just some guy I met like 5 minutes ago.
Literally a comment on the internet that you read. It should be coming out right around now. Wow, this is a very fast start for the Shaman. No Ravaging Ghoul to help him climb back.
No War Axe. No nothing. He's got a Korokon Elite, though.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Korokon over Bloodhoof Brave come out here. Just Bloodhoof Brave usually... There's too many value trades for it on the field. Like, you don't have great ways to clean up this 2-3 if it value trades into it. So that's my only concern with it. But At this mana count, it is kind of difficult to answer, but we do see Xieshuai picks up the Flame Tongue. He's going to be able to answer it pretty efficiently.
That's super nasty. Yeah, use the... You can also set up the Totem Golem with it, too. And then you still have enough mana to play the Flame Leaf Faceless next turn.
Yeah, and you only lose an Abusive Sergeant clearing with this, and Jeb does not have the Ghoul to kind of like punish the value trade there, so he's now has to execute it.
And that means he frees up Execute from the Faceless.
Yeah, now Flame Wreath Faceless is just going to absolutely have a great time on this board.
Yeah, finally a party that he's welcomed at, because I feel like Faceless has just been answered so many times recently.
Oh, especially against Warrior. Every time I played on 4 against Warrior, it just gets snap executed.
Yeah.
Except, like, I don't know. When I play, like, very mediocre players or ladder players, they always have the execute, and they keep it off
because
the
they
mulligan.
keep it mulligan. Yeah, exactly, dude.
And none of the good players ever have the execute because they never keep it off the mulligan. And it triggers me so much when I'm playing ladder.
It's like the better the player, the better you do, but the worse the player, the worse you do.
You definitely have to like adapt to your environment when playing, especially like aggressive decks where people are trying to answer you, because the way you pose threats is different if you expect people to answer in certain ways.
That's what Rossi was saying, man. How like sometimes the expert players lose to the basic plays because they're just thinking too far in advance or other stuff, you know. They get rocked.
Everybody can get rocked, man.
Yeah, it's true. Sometimes you under or overestimate your opponent. It's a very real thing. Is that a Gorehowl? Oh, man.
He can kill the Flame Wreath Faceless.
Yeah.
It hurts just a whole lot.
It almost hurts as much as losing the series.
Looks like that's what it does.
Yeah. Is that your best line?
I know. You want to kill the Tunnel Trog, right? The Tunnel Trog presents more potential damage, so.
True.
Yeah, the 7/7, if you kill it, it's going to hit you for 7 anyway. The Tunnel Trog could hit you for more. You're trying to live till next turn at this point, right?
Except he won't. There's a lava burst with Jab's name written on it.
Okay.
In embossed red letters.
The Jabba Burst.
Jabba Burst. Oh, my God. That's game. That's the series. Jab, the only American player, falls here with the concede. Definitely not happy with how that outcome went for him, as Jab pretty much got manhandled this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Jab's been kind of basically in retirement for a little while. You know, he's been kind of inactive for the most part. We haven't seen him compete in very many tournaments in 2016, right? Whether it be just because his team drama and the team disbanding, so he doesn't get, like, you know, travel motivation, or whatever, or motivation as well. Like, it's pretty tough when your team's having some issues to be able to, you know, stay focused on the task at hand. Your practice buddies are all fighting or whatever because your team's in economic trouble. So,
what do you know about that, Firebat? Jeez,
absolutely
stay in your
nothing,
lane,
obviously.
dude. Stay in your freaking lane.
So,
all right. So, I mean, good job to the Xieshuai. I mean, he was able to kind of stay alive in the tournament. And honestly, he did go up against 6-0, who I did feel like was the strongest player overall in the group, at least from a technical point of view. Sure. And, I mean, losing first round doesn't really indicate anything. If you can still get out in second place, it's just as good as first place, in my opinion. So let's take a look at the bracket to see how Group A is shaping up. We are done with the first 4 matches. We have one final match, Stan Civica versus Xieshuai. And we might even get some nice Warlock on Warlock action. That'd be cool.
Yeah, these are the 2 players that when I was looking at all the lineups, I was like, yeah, these lineups seem like the best to go pretty far. And now they're facing each other in the loser's bracket, and one has to go home. So
yeah. I think from here, we're just going to finish out Group A, and then tomorrow we're going to do Group B, featuring Hoi, Neiman, the other Chinese player, Zoro, who's a BlizzCon finalist, and one more person that I'm missing.
Dr. Hippie.
Now. Dr. Hippie, that's right. The guy who's playing Freeze Mage.
Yeah.
Brave soul.
Dr. Hippie piloted Freeze Mage all through the StarLadder qualifiers, did very well with it. He piloted in his BlizzCon championship run that he got second to Nyman in for winter championships.
All right.
So he's a big fan of it, but I've lost faith in that deck.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Only very few select people, and I think the fact that Dr. Hippie practices with laughing a lot has to do with the fact that he still brings it. What an interesting time to see that Freeze Mage comes out here. I think we're setting up for an interview with Xieshuai. I don't know if Noxious is going to interview him. because Noxious, last time I checked, doesn't speak very good Chinese.
That's true. Yeah, Noxious is he speaks really good French though.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He's from that part of Canada where
Yeah.
speaks a lot of French. I think like Montreal, right?
Yeah, he does a lot of work with Purple, so he's like
Cool.
like Noxious has never been to my house, but he's on a Skype call in my house like 6 or 7 hours a day because they work with each other for like content production with the French stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
So I can like walk out of like the shower or whatever, walking towards my room and be like, "Hey, Noxious, what's up?"
So it's kind of like having Noxious
Yeah,
with you.
Yeah, he kind of lives there, but not really. Yeah.
All right. Just want to remind you guys real quick that this is a 3-day tournament too. So I know you guys are watching day number 1 for tuning in. We do recognize that the hours are pretty bad for the West. I think NA is fully asleep, and then Europe is just waking up. So for any people who do tune in, thank you so much. And the last series will be casted by Noxious and Fireman.
Cool.
Speaking of Noxious,
Yeah.
be here. I think we're just setting up for the interview because Xieshuai is going to have a few words talking about his journey too. I think the Chinese people are really interested. There are other broadcasts in different languages, by the way, for Russian and Chinese. If you guys speak those languages and you're tired of listening to me and Firebat.
Yeah, or if you just want to try and learn Russian and Chinese through a Hearthstone stream. There was a player at BlizzCon last year. Said he learned
hardest languages in the world.
He said he learned English through watching Twitch.
Kranich, right?
Yeah, I think it was Kranich, yeah. Just learned English from watching Twitch. So if you feel like learning some Russian or some Chinese, this might be your time to shine.
Oh, that'll go great in the chat. Yeah. Are we ready for the interview? Almost. Okay, cool.
Well, who do you think's going to win?
I picked Hoi to win the tournament.
Okay, Hoi.
Yeah.
Why'd you pick Hoi?
Just because I like Hoi's lineup.
观众欢迎回来。那现在是我们的场间采访的时间啊。现场突然传来了不知道哪位选手的爆笑哈，在我身边是我们刚刚赢得这场败者组比赛的 OMG 的选手谢帅，来先跟大家打个招呼啊。那之前也看了你的采访的片子，好像你今年跟我们这个英巴 TV 还是蛮有缘分的啊。我看首先是广州站，当时是我们承办，你去参加比赛，然后是等于是32强止步，但是之后是拿了2个就是实力赛啊，还有就是宿舍英雄的这个比赛冠军。然后你是什么时候进入到 OMG 职业选手的？因为一开始你是以贴吧的身份来打我们 StarLadder 大联赛预选。
进入 OMG 是就近几天的事情吧。
其实是在参加我们组决赛之前，刚刚被 OMG 就是。
It's just a couple days before the match.
他们是为什么原因相中你？有没有想过
？Why does it pick you? Interview voice. I think I'm just too good. Yeah. Let's talk about the game today. I think you lost the first game and went to the lower bracket. We haven't talked about that. So, like, would you feel nervous when you enter the booth? Volume up. Like, do you think first game you lost to 6-0, like, is because you play bad or something? I think I made some little mistakes in game 1. I played the Drew Legendary too early and get cleared on turn 4. And I think 6-0 not only play good, but he also does a lot of top decks too. I think during the match, like you actually played well, and so I think you have to keep on like playing just like you should too. What do you think? Like, why you win this with this one against the Jab? I think Jab pick a warrior and a hunter, and I actually like I think like a control warrior. No, I think a variant warrior is not good anymore in the current meta. So I think that's the really reason I won this series.
总体看下来，不管从我们的预计对他的预估，还是实际的效果，都不是特别好。那我有观察到第二局你进比赛房间好像要比第一局放松一点了，是不是第二局的时候你自己也感觉要稍微好一点？
I noticed that you look like way better. You enter the booth in the game two. So do you feel better after the loss?
不紧张，很假。所以到了下午的话，因为可以中间有很多场的，有2场比赛有。
Yeah, I think after watching other players play the game, I actually feel much better and yeah. We've seen like so many good players from newbie become to like a really good player. So please don't think too much and just play your best. Just be relaxed and play your best decks. Thanks for everyone.